All right, now we get into gut health. KPV, Larazotide, and BPC-157. KPV is also a SNP off of a naturally occurring tripeptide in our body, and it is going to be one of the strongest anti-inflammatories for our gut. KPV's mechanism is it downregulates a lot of inflammatory cytokines like TNF-alpha, interleukin-6, and a lot of times what's happening when you have like a leaky gut, your inflammation is just through the roof. So, and if you're going to go in there and repair that thing, you definitely have to shut off the inflammation. Not only does it work in a situation like leaky gut, it would also work in situations like colitis, food poisoning, and other inflammatory skin conditions because our skin really does show us what's going on inside of the gut. Most often with KPV, similar to the BPC, 200 to 500 micrograms injectable. You can orally, it works a little bit as well too. I've even had some people who do it as a suppository, so it depends on what you're targeting. Larazotide really helps heal the tight junctions in our gut. And basically what happens in our gut whenever you have inflammation or something that's pissed off your gut, the tight junctions get leaky. That's why we call it leaky gut or gut permeability. And when these junctions are open, think about it like a castle wall, then all these things start to come in and then you have an immune response, right? Your castle wall is falling down, so the invaders come in and then your soldiers come up and attack, and then it just causes a mishmash and all kinds of problems. So you can think about Larazotide coming in and really packing up your gut wall. And at that point, then your body can actually start to heal itself. Typically, people are doing 500 micrograms upwards to 2 milligrams a day. And this can be twice a day, 3 times a day, just depends on the situation. We already chatted briefly about BPC-157, healing the gut. That's where it's found. That's what it does in our body naturally. As far as regeneration, I didn't tell a story about anecdotally, guys are like, this heals the gut lining in rats and mice. Maybe if I inject it in my shoulder issues will go away. And that's what they found. So really, when you think about BPC, though, we think about it more as far as healing the gut lining. And if you're trying to heal the gut lining, it makes total sense. Then you would go more with the oral form because the oral form, bam, it's going straight there. It's actually on this side of, I think about us we're like basically a big tube, right? Big donut. We have a big hole through us, and that's how food passes and it gets absorbed. So throwing BPC right in the gut, you're going to go down there right into the inflammation right where you want it. Not that injecting it, you're actually coming back from the other angle, but if you're actually trying to heal something on the skin, like you put coconut oil right on your skin. Doesn't mean you can't eat coconut oil and get there eventually, but if you can apply it locally, BPC-157 oral makes sense. And then so you can imagine then if you're trying to heal your gut, using these three together, KPV, Larazotide, and BPC, then you can imagine calm the inflammation, heal the gut lining, and then actively heal the mucosal connective tissue, right? KPV, Larazotide, BPC. It's great for healing your gut. And then last but not least is going to be the immune boosters. So you have people who unfortunately are caught up in Lyme, mold, heavy metals, all these kind of co-infections. And it even has some data to support in cancer. Now, we're not treating it, but there's some benefit. I hope we get some more data. Now, this area I don't do as much in my clinical practice, but talking to many of my colleagues, they love using TA1, Thymosin Alpha-1 in those situations. So like I said earlier, Thymosin Beta-4, your thymus, right? Thymosin Alpha-1, this too is an immune peptide that comes out of our thymus. And as we age, we have less of these. So Thymosin Alpha-1 really helps with Th1 to Th2 balance in our body. This is ultimately in our body is trying to find balance, right? If you have too much in the immune system, you can end up in autoimmune. And if you have too weak of an immune system, then you can end up in something like cancer. Now, Thymosin Alpha-1 has been approved and used in other countries through a drug called Zadaxin. It's much more nuanced here in the United States, whether or not you can get it from a compounding pharmacy. They kind of took it off. There may be some places you can get it. It's kind of one of those gray areas. So overall, what Thymosin Alpha-1 is doing, it's going to help the thymus that's where your T cells mature. T cells are going to be one of the major components of your immune system. And then in some of the areas that it's actually been studied in is in Hepatitis B and C, some cancers, sepsis. But again, unfortunately, in the States, we need more data, I think, before it gets accepted and used. This one, too, the dosing's all over the place. 0.1 milligram, 2 to 3 times a week. Some people hit a big bolus. Some people do a smaller more frequently. Just kind of depends. Chat with your healthcare practitioner. And again, I think I really want to emphasize with the immune stuff, like a Thymosin Alpha-1, you wouldn't take this alone, right? This is an adjunct therapy, especially in naturopathic medicine, depending where you're on. Like in California, you can't legally treat cancer. What you're doing is going to help whatever therapy's happening. Like a lot of naturopathic doctors who help with cancer, what they're going to do is give immune boosters. They're going to give IV therapy, high doses of vitamin C, ultimately helping out your oncologist. So if you are in cancer, you can help offset a lot of the nasty side effects that come with that. And on the other end, if the cancer isn't as advanced, then you may be able to use natural means to hold it off. But again, not my area of expertise. Chat with a healthcare practitioner. All right. So wrapping up, how do we think about peptides? So I categorize them into the 7 big areas: regeneration, growth hormone, weight loss, cognition, mitochondria, gut, and immune function. And those are what I've seen clinically have great success. We'll see how research moves forward with them. And I think about these as highly targeted tools. In the biohacking community, you can use some of these things to help prevent disease, to help give you more energy, to help with your weight loss goals, and for hopefully use them properly to living a long, healthy life. And that's why you should be keeping track. What gets measured gets managed. So monitor your labs, watch your symptoms, watch out for side effects. Just don't throw, darts into the dark. All right, so I hope you found this helpful. I know that it was quite a bit. And you can go on my channel. I've done some deep dives on some of these particulars like BPC-157 and Thymosin Alpha. Now, if there's one you'd like a deep dive on that I haven't, please leave it in the comments below. And remember, this is not medical advice. And then with that being said, if you're interested in these, I have some affiliate links in the comments below where you get some juicy discounts. And I would love to hear some of your guys' feedback if you use some of these peptides. How did it go for you? What dosing, what frequency did you use? Did you have gnarly side effects? Or did it completely help you alleviate out of disease? I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, stay vigilant, my friends, and God bless.